Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name's Audra. I'm happy you're here. So on Wednesday, September 7th was my birthday, and that means that it's been 1 year since I've been on YouTube. I uploaded my first video ever on my birthday, kind of as a birthday gift, like, hey, you're finally doing this. You've been wanting to do it for like a decade. So I uploaded just like an everyday makeup routine, super simple video. And so I thought in honor of 1 year of being on YouTube, I would watch that first video. I haven't watched it since uploading it, and try to follow my everyday makeup routine. I'm not sure how much it's changed. I feel like the essence of it has kind of stayed the same, but I definitely have switched out products. Like, I don't even know if I have the products that I used in that video. I'm not sure if I've decluttered them at all. Just kind of seeing like what my techniques were, if anything has changed like drastically at all, and just to watch it back and kind of see how much my videos have changed. It's crazy how fast a year goes, and I feel like I'm still very much so like new to YouTube, I feel like, and there's still so much that I want to like do with my videos and grow, and as far as like production wise and quality wise and everything like that. But I still think that I have definitely probably grown more than I even realize, and especially as far as like being comfortable on camera and all that. So I'm just gonna watch it back. It might be a little cringy, but I think it'll be fun to see it. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so it's just titled My Everyday Makeup Routine in the bottom here. Hi, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm Audra, and today I'm going to show you my everyday makeup routine. So let's zoom in and get started. First, I'm going to start with, okay, short and sweet intro. This is the Kinship Self Reflect Probiotic Moisturizing Sunscreen. Okay, so I have some like background music in it, which is kind of cute, like just going while I'm doing my makeup. And I like the cutaway scenes. In a separate clip, I'm like showing each product like by my plant. Actually, it's this plant. Like while I do like a talk over of what I'm using, which is, I think that's really cute. Maybe I should get back to that. But I use the Kinship Self Reflect sunscreen, which I still use. I use my Supergoop one more, I would say, my glow screen, just because it's a little bit more like glowy. This one I feel like is a little like thicker than that, but I'm also realizing, like, again, how fast a year goes. This is definitely the same bottle of that Kinship sunscreen, so it might be time to get a new one, because I think that especially sunscreens expire. So I'm like realizing how old that same bottle is, because I was using it a year ago. That's the first step I do, sunscreen. Always a good thing. My hair is so short. It's curled, just pretty much the same, but it's shorter. I usually just use a light like tinted moisturizer. It's nice and light. But I go between 3 of them. So I still do this where a lot of times if I'm like, I think something's funny or I just mess up or have like a brain fart, I still keep it in there because obviously I want to be like as real as possible. I usually use a tinted moisturizer because it's light. It's funny. Them usually, the first one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Moisturizer, tinted moisturizer. That one is in the shade Light 6W. My second favorite is the Smashbox Halo, and this one does have SPF in it too. It has 25. And my last and newest favorite is the Ilia Drops. This one has niacinamide, squalene, and hyaluronic acid in it, and it does have an SPF of 40. This one's just a little bit too dark for me right now, so I think I'm gonna go with the Smashbox Halo for today. And with these, I usually just like to use my hands because I feel like that's kind of the easiest. I mean, it's basically a moisturizer, so it's usually easiest to rub it in with. your fingers. So I talk about my 3 favorite tinted moisturizers, and I still have all 3 of them. Again, I always talk about how these are low and like I need to just use them up. And apparently I still haven't a year later. So again, that's kind of showing like these are old, and they have sunscreen in them as well. So probably expired at this point. But I still really love these 3 products. I don't use these quite as much as I used to because there's just so many other things that I've been trying and liking, but still like them. And then the Ilia one I use a lot. This deeper one I had in the video, but I got a lighter shade as well, knowing that this one was usually too deep for me unless I was like really tan, which doesn't happen like super often. So I do have 2 of these now, and I definitely still use these quite a bit. In the video I use the Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizer, and I just use my fingers. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Might be like the last time I used this though. I mean, it's really that old. I probably should be getting rid of it, honestly. So I'll just use my fingers. I don't use my fingers quite as much, I feel like, anymore, because I don't love the feeling of it like on my fingers. I don't know, obviously you just go wash your hands, but I'm just like more weird about like textures and feelings now. I definitely put way too much on. I got way too much in my hands this time, but I haven't used this in a while. I definitely go in phases, and for a while there I was like in my beauty blender phase, and now I'm in more my brush phase because I've discovered that Merit brush that I really like, that's super like quick and easy to use. So maybe someday I'll go back into my using my fingers. Definitely a really good technique to kind of like warm up the product and really get it to like melt into your skin. Like definitely makes it look really natural, especially with like a tinted moisturizer. Super easy. I definitely feel like I like got too much, but it ended up blending in really nicely. It's really pretty. Still really pretty. I'm gonna go wash my hands now because like I said, I hate this feeling. I also have my little like AB on the corner, which I used to always do, but it was kind of like a pain in the butt to put there. And I know like on YouTube you can put like your watermark in and it will just automatically put it on your video, so I should probably get back to doing that. So it's kind of cute that I have it on here. After I rub it with my fingers, I usually take a foundation brush to make sure everything's nicely like rubbed in and blended. This one's the Rare Beauty foundation brush. It's like the little tapered one. And I usually just go all over just to make sure that there's no lines and it's kind of melted into my skin. Okay, then I take the Rare Beauty foundation brush and just go over. Just something I definitely still like do. I feel like if I ever use my fingers or feel like I got too much product, nice to just make sure it's all blended. That's pretty well blended in, so you definitely see, you know, my blemishes, my redness, but it gives a good, just even, like the start to an even complexion without being a heavy foundation. And for concealer, I've been using the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape. I have been actually really liking it. This one's in 22N Light Neutral. It's supposed to be more creamy than, I hear the Amazon truck. I do feel like it is more creamy, more hydrating. Amazon man, hey. And I feel not too bad using like a ton of concealer because I did use such a light base. So I do put it in a lot of places that I need it, but depending on how my skin is, you know, sometimes I need more, sometimes I need less. Then I'm just gonna use that same Rare Beauty foundation brush and blend in my concealer. Okay, so I used the Tarte Shape Tape, the creamy one, which I do really like, but I definitely have used that up since, so I do not have that anymore. I think the closest one I probably have to like the coverage and the creaminess of the Shape Tape is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I have this one in 30.5, so I'm just gonna use this Looks like I just pretty much put it under my eyes, down my T-zone. I get a lot of redness around my nose. And that tinted moisturizer did cover up pretty well. I don't feel like I need it in a lot of other places. And then using that same Rare Beauty foundation brush, blending that concealer in. This time it's a lot quieter. It's a really pretty base. Definitely not far off from what I do now, I feel like. Okay, and that's the skin after concealer. So definitely more coverage than just the tinted moisturizer alone, but I mean, it's not full coverage at all. You can still see my skin, you can still see my blemishes, but for every day, I think that's okay. I'm embracing it. Before I do any kind of powder at all, I'm gonna go ahead and do cream blush. I've been loving the Ilia little stick cream blushes. This one's in the shade Dreamer. So I'm gonna rub that on my cheeks. And I usually go back and up. I'm gonna use that same foundation brush because I like how dense it is. So I use the multi-stick from Ilia in Dreamer for blush. I still really love this color. A really pretty, like everyday, more terracotta-y like shade. It's actually gonna be really pretty for the fall as well. But just putting that on my cheeks and then taking that same brush. What's funny is like, it's a different brush, but I still do this very much so like with my Merit brush. Like I kind of just use that for everything now, but still very much so into like a multi-use product, a multi-use tool or brush. Makes things really easy. And I'll put the blush across my nose a little bit, so I just did that like out of habit. Still really, really pretty. I love those multi-sticks. I now have the shade Olive Me in that as well. It's more of like a pink. And I feel like that multi-stick is what kind of started my like obsession with Ilia. That was the first product I've ever bought from them, I think. And really loved it. And then just really loved like their vibe and everything. So I feel like that's where it like all started. I feel like it gives such like a nice awake look. And that color I think is perfect for every day too. And to set everything, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier powder. This is the translucent one. Do I think that it's as amazing as people make it? I don't know. I'm just using this little Real Techniques little powder brush and just take a little bit of the powder, put it under my eyes. I definitely have lines under my eyes, so I try to put it like way in there so I don't get so creasy throughout the day. And then on my forehead. I do get a little oily throughout the day. Do we like the music in the background? So I still have that same Laura Mercier powder. I literally can't like finish it up. It's just so large. So much product. And then I still have that little setting brush from Real Techniques. I still use this almost every single day because it's such a perfect size for powder especially, but I use it a lot for like highlighter too. Just like the perfect size little brush. But basically put it down the T-zone. Still very much just do that. I don't like a ton of powder. I don't like to like be mattified. I like to keep whatever glow I can. So still the same kind of placement. I have a lot of different powders I use now. I barely use this one, but again, just trying to use it up. The bronzer, I'm going to use the KVD Vegan Beauty. It's a shade and light little mini one. The shades are Lyric and Shadow Play. I think it's the middle one. I don't think I went with the lightest. That looks like that. And I'm actually just gonna use like a little tapered brush. This is a blush brush technically. I think it's, I don't know, it's very old. I think it might be Sephora, but I do like the shape and it's been keeping up, you know. It's been keeping up. I like how this shape gets right in. It's still weird. I'm still weird. Shape. To get right under. A little bit on the forehead. And a little bit under the chin. So I used the Shade and Light palette and I still do have it. I never use this anymore. I still really like the shade. I like the intensity of it. You really do get like a nice contour with this. But I just have moved more into like cream bronzers, and there's just so many different good bronzers I feel like on the market, so I definitely haven't been using this. I still have this Sephora blush brush, so you can keep it up still. And I still use it all the time. Not usually really for bronzer, I guess, but it's like my main blush brush. It's from like their older collection. But I just put this on the cheeks in the video, like this. On my forehead. I feel like it looks like a lot more like red, almost like red undertone, especially compared to my other bronzers I've been using. I put it under my jawbones as well. Still really pretty, just a very different like tone that I'm used to lately. But I like that like kind of more intense contour it gives. I'm not a very big eyeshadow wearer in general, but I'm just gonna take that same contour palette bronzer and just put it in my crease just to kind of define my eye shape, create that shadow. So I definitely still do this technique like all the time because I am still not a huge eyeshadow wearer. I don't know if I'll ever be. I like a simple eye look. Like I do like some like eyeshadow on my eyes. I just like a more natural look usually, so I definitely still put bronzer in my crease all the time, especially if I have nothing on the eyes. For brows, I don't usually fill them in or anything every day. Comb through them to kind of give them their shape. And then I use the Benefit Gimme Brow. This one, oh, the writing is off, so I'm not sure what color it is. I think it might be 3.5. But I'm just gonna put that through my brows. Give them some kind of tint to darken up some of the light hairs. So I just comb through my brows. And then I use the Gimme Brow. I said in the video, I think it's 3.5. I'm guessing that it would be that. I don't think I went up to 4 at all. But I do not have that anymore. But the closest one I have to the Gimme Brow is the Boy Brow from Glossier. I have this in brown. Just gonna run through the brows with that. Before I do mascara, I'm just gonna give my skin a little spritz of setting spray. This is the Cover FX High Performing Setting Spray. Okay, I'm gonna curl my lashes. I definitely do not have that Cover FX setting spray anymore. And the only setting spray I have, because I don't usually use setting spray that often at all, is the Matte Fix Plus, so I'll spray that. I think it's always a good idea to do that before mascara, because obviously you are spraying something like wet on your face. You don't want to like smudge your mascara. And then curl the lashes, of course. Curl and then usually lift up. Oh, that's a technique I don't really do much. I feel like I don't do that anymore, like curling it up. It's a good idea. Wow, I feel like it does curl more. Last but not least, mascara. And I've been back to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara lately. I feel like I put a lot of mascara on, but it's like my favorite part. True. And then I usually go over one more time and just do the very edge to lengthen my lashes. I definitely do not have the Better Than Sex mascara anymore, but I do have the Ilia Fullest Volumizing mascara, which the brush is like super similar to the Better Than Sex, and I feel like probably just as volumizing and probably cleaner. So I'll just use that. I'll give the same effect. I definitely have gotten more into lip products since this video. Like I pretty much always put something on the lips. I do still really like, I still like balms and stuff, so it's not like it's, you know, always a full-on lipstick, but I definitely, when I'm getting ready now, do something with my lips. Just adds kind of like the finishing touch to your look, I feel like. And then I said I'd go in and do just the ends. I feel like I do this occasionally, but I feel like I don't take the time to do it a lot. And it's the finished look. Thank you for watching my very first YouTube video ever. Leave any video suggestions in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I will be posting a video every Friday, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Okay, so cute. I would say very much so similar to what I do. I just use some different products. I am gonna add a little lip to finish off. I feel incomplete without it. This is the Rare Beauty lip liner in Fun. And I'm just gonna put the Rhode lip balm on top of that. This is the salted caramel one. It smells so good. Yeah, I like that lip liner color for every day. Super pretty, super natural. Okay, so that is the finished look. I feel like I look pretty much exactly the same as in that video. Like, I think I followed it pretty well, besides the lips. Okay, but that wraps up today's video. It was really fun to see my first video ever and kind of see how I've changed and just how much more comfortable I've gotten in front of the camera. Obviously, it's still like hard to get used to. I feel like it will take quite a while to be like 100% comfortable. I feel like it will always be difficult to like have a camera in your face and not mess up at all, or kind of have like a brain fart or go blank, go blank. But I definitely feel like I have got more comfortable, more confident on the camera, and I just feel like I looked like a little baby in that, even though it was only a year ago. Like I mean visually I feel like almost exactly the same, but I just feel like I look like a little baby, and I feel like I've definitely grown this year. And it's like a little awkward to watch, and especially when I crack some not funny jokes, but I can't be mad at it, you know? Like, that was my first attempt ever. I think the most important part is that I did it and I got out of my comfort zone and I just went and uploaded it. You're never gonna know exactly like what you're doing with uploading videos, or even like starting a business or starting a hobby or anything. I just feel like the biggest thing I've learned is that you are not going to know what you're doing at first, and you're also never going to be ready, and there's never going to be like a perfect time to do it. You're never going to feel completely ready for it or feel like you know everything about it, but you will learn that along the way. And the most important part is literally just to start and just to do it. If I would have never started a year ago, I would have never had, I think I have 340 something subscribers, and I would still be at 0. I would still be thinking about how badly I want a YouTube channel and not actually have done it yet. So if you just start, time is on your side. It just will keep going. You'll just keep going and keep doing it and learning things along the way, and then you'll look back a year later or 2 years later or 10 years later and be like, I'm glad I started on that day, because if I wouldn't have been where I am today. So if you want to start a YouTube channel like I did since I was like 16 and it took me till 26 to start, you just gotta do it. I know everyone tells you that, but you just have to do it. Just have to start, just have to put a camera in front of your face and be awkward and just start. Or that goes with anything else that you've been wanting to do for a long time. So it was fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. Thank you so much to everyone that's been watching the last year and subscribed. So if you've been here from the start, definitely let me know in the comments below. It's been so fun and lots more to come. So I will see you next week for 2 new videos then. Bye.